Welcome to Let's Talk Learning Disabilities with Laurie Peterson and Abby Weinstein. Laurie and Abby spend their days talking about dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, and ADHD. They talk to parents of struggling students and adults who have had a lifetime of academic challenges. They want to share those stories along with their own insights with you. So, let's talk learning disabilities.
Everybody, this is Laurie.
And this is Abby.
Welcome to Let's Talk Learning Disabilities. Today we are super excited because we are kicking off a brand new series.
That's right. Our new 12-part series called Turning Struggles into Triumphs, Parenting Through Learning Challenges will cover the next 12 episodes where you can listen to what Laurie and I have been up to for the last month.
It has been so fun. We have actually had some parents. We actually had a great response to this when we sent out an email. But we've had several parents willing to share their stories of what life was like, when they first noticed their child struggling academically. And then they walk us through the process of how they had their child evaluated. Some of them did it privately. A couple of them did it through the school. And then really what happened afterwards. They talk a little bit about getting help through the school and what that process was like, and really just the differences they've seen in their kids since that point. So we have had a blast.
Exactly. And even hearing about how their students are thriving now, it was just very insightful and very rewarding. And I don't know, it tugged at my heartstrings hearing a lot of these parents' stories. And I hope that you guys will enjoy listening to them, maybe gain some valuable information, or maybe they'll put a little spark under your bottom to fight for your child who might be struggling. And hopefully you'll find these interviews invaluable.
Hopefully one of them will resonate with you. You may hear a parent talking about a struggle that your child may have or may have had, and you're not sure what to do about it. So we're really hoping that this is going to be something that everyone will enjoy listening to. And again, it just kind of gave us a lot of warm fuzzies and felt really good about hearing the changes and the success that these kids are having now that they figured out what's going on and really are getting the targeted help that they need. So we really hope that you guys enjoy this series. If you guys have any questions about any of the episodes as we go through, you can always reach out to us at letstalklearningdisabilities@gmail.com, or
you can always access all of our podcasts on our podcast website, www.ltldpodcast.com, where you can find all our episodes in chronological order or even grouped by categories.
So without further ado, we hope you guys enjoy the first episode of Turning Struggles into Triumphs,
Parenting Through Learning Challenges. Hello, Maria and Jaime. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, of course. We are happy to have the opportunity for you to share a little bit about your experience and hopefully help some of our other listeners who might be walking in the shoes that you were walking in several years ago. So first off, tell us a little bit about the struggles that you observed prior to any evaluation or diagnosis, and whether those struggles be academic or behavioral. What were you observing prior to evaluation?
Well, since our daughter was in kindergarten, we noticed that she struggled with writing and reading, and nobody believed us. That was the biggest struggle, that we have two older kids that we noticed they learn different and faster. So we told the school, and they said we have to wait until second grade to be evaluated by the district.
Okay. So she was in a public school at the time?
Yes.
Okay. When you approached them because you were concerned and you were seeing struggles in first grade or second grade, did the school also see the same struggles or have concerns, and had they put any extra supports in place for her?
When she was in kindergarten, and we noticed that they said we have to wait until second grade. However, in first grade, we pressure, and finally she was tested. and by the district.
Okay.
But the test was negative, that she doesn't have anything.
So the school's evaluation showed no learning disabilities.
Mm-hmm. No, she has dyslexia and dyscalculia.
Okay, so second grade, the school tested, they said there's no disability. Now, did they put any supports in place for her, even though she didn't qualify for any special services? Did they provide like small group intervention or anything to help her?
No, until we pressure.
Uh-huh.
Because what happened with her is that she memorized everything. She has a good memory.
Okay.
So was really difficult for the teachers unless they have sit next for a lot of tests to notice her limitation. Yeah, they say no, but in the beginning of second grade, we push and ask for intervention or some help, and finally the school did. And then pandemia, boom.
Oh,
And
the COVID pandemic changed everything. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she was at home learning online, so she wasn't getting that extra intervention, right?
Yes, she was, but online is not her thing at all. She needs to be in touch, in person. She needs to touch the paper, the lap, with the pencil.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, she needs to touch and see. Yeah, computer is not, virtual is not her the best way she learns.
Mm-hmm. A lot of kids are like that. So then you ended up seeking a private evaluation outside of the school district, correct?
Yes, and they during the pandemic, and they confirmed that she has dyslexia and dysgraphia and dyscalculia.
Okay. So did those things that you suspected that she might have, did those diagnoses confirm your suspicions of that she was struggling with a learning disability of some sort?
Yes, finally we have an answer. We have a big relief. She has dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. Mm-hmm. And the school start, she was in 504, is the name of the program?
504.
And it was a big help for us. As well, we have private tutors.
Okay. So you shared the private evaluation report with her school, and they were responsive to it, right? It sounds like you guys had a Section 504 meeting, developed an individual accommodation plan for her.
Yes.
Okay. And then did they put in any other supports or just those 504 accommodations?
Just the 504 accommodations. She has 45 minutes every day outside the school for writing and reading. The school does not provide, they don't have any dyslexia teacher. They have a math teacher, but dyslexia teacher, she didn't receive any special classes for her
For the
math.
dyslexia? Oh, for math. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So they have the dyslexia teacher, but they don't have a math teacher.
Oh yeah, dyscalculia. I'm sorry, dyscalculia.
So yeah, I think that this is Jaime, Juliana's dad. I think that one of the biggest frustration was dealing with the school, even though after we took the private test, they actually step up. But during that, it took them almost a year for them to come back to us and say, yeah, we will give you the test. So it was very frustrating because, as you can imagine, this is our third kid. We didn't know exactly where to go. Mm-hmm. And also, the kid is 11. We are in our early 50s. We didn't deal with this when we were growing up.
Right.
So that was the biggest. But thanks to a neighbor of ours, they said you can take the private exam, the private test. And it was the best money I have ever spent in my life because it was a relief of now we have a plan.
Right.
what is the plan? Let's now implement the plan. So that has helped us a lot. Yes.
Good. I'm so glad. So when you received the results of the diagnosis, the evaluator that was going over the results with you, they gave you some recommendations as far as things that would help her in the school setting, right? And then the school, they did start providing the dyslexia intervention program for her, but
Yes.
no special supports for the math disability.
No.
Okay.
There was a math teacher, but he didn't specialize in dysgraphia.
In dyscalculia.
In dyscalculia, my apologies. In dyscalculia.
Right.
So we haven't been able to find somebody. So right now she's in 6th grade, and she's attending a place nearby, Mathanasium.
Mathanasium. Yeah.
Yes.
They're wonderful.
She was doing it twice a week. Now she's doing it once a week. Things are progressing.
Good.
But very slowly, to be honest with you.
Yes. Well, how is her reading coming along? Is she doing better with her reading, and is she feeling more confident?
Yeah, her reading is better. She has tutor for 3 years, twice a week. Private tutor after school. She doesn't have any more because we couldn't find any. And I think that helped her. Even it's not perfect. I think she's struggled.
Yeah, she's trying.
Yeah.
Does she understand, or did you explain to her that you're very smart, your brain learns differently?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a perfect constant conversation at home with the older kids. And I remember the day that the older kid make a sort of a funny comment about that. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how she's going to take it, but now it's funny. She doesn't manipulate that information, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I have dyslexia, therefore I cannot do that. We have been able to find cases of very interesting, famous people who have dyslexia.
Right.
And not that she sees them as role models, but we have made an effort to say, would you just learn a different way? We just need to cope with this.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest struggle at this point is the room that they give her, the special accommodations that they give her. In my mind, and maybe I'm too old school, those accommodations need to be reduced and reduced and reduced. You know what I mean? Instead of giving her 1 hour, it has to be 45 minutes, eventually 30 minutes later. Because as much as they can do something like that in college, welcome to the real world is not going to be like that.
Right.
So that is the thing that I personally struggle the most.
Well, and I think that is the goal. Eventually, you put a bunch of supports in place for a student and classroom and testing accommodations. And as you teach them different skills and coping strategies and you close those gaps, the goal is to eventually fade out and get rid of or reduce some of those accommodations. So she was diagnosed in 2021, correct?
Yes, May 7th.
Okay, so it's 2023. So maybe by when you meet to review her 504 plan towards the end of this year, planning for next year, maybe that might be a good time to say, let's try reducing some of her accommodations and see how she does, or see how far she is from achieving commensurate with her grade level peers.
Yeah, she doesn't have more time than the other kids. But she has the calculator. She sits in front of the teacher.
Right.
And when she has some tests, she has somebody next to her. In case she doesn't understand the question or what he has to do.
Okay. So she can ask for pieces of it to be read to her.
Yes.
Okay, good. So do you feel like she is doing better now, or you're observing less struggles, at home during homework time?
The way I will answer that question is she is still confident, right, about math and reading. She has not lost the love to read, because that was one of my biggest concerns, that now I don't want to read because I don't understand.
Right.
So to answer your question, the school tells us that she's doing fine, that she's reading at grade level.
Wow.
Having said that, we just need to continue keeping the love for learning
Absolutely.
alive, the burning desire. Yeah,
That's true. And that's great that she still loves learning and enjoys reading, because those are very hard things to teach. You can't really teach that love for learning and that caring about school and learning. So that's great that she's got that. So she's reading more.
Yeah, we were lucky because her tutor for 4 years, almost, 3 years, was dyslexic. That was dyslexic as well.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a great person for her to be working with. Wow.
Yeah, they're still in touch. She's great.
Good. Very good. I'm so glad. So if you had to recommend something for parents that are walking in your shoes that you were walking in 2020 or 2021, before you had the evaluation done and the diagnosis, what advice would you recommend, or what advice would you give other parents that are listening that may be watching their child struggle at school and maybe even not getting the intervention or evaluation from the school like you guys did in the beginning?
I would recommend to follow their instinct, that believing what they think is something is happening. Look for help.
That's good, good advice.
Yeah, in help who is a professional people, because we ask some people who her kids are dyslexic as well, and the first thing she say to us is, don't talk to Juliana in Spanish, just in English, because she's gonna be confused and she's not gonna be good in English or Spanish, and don't read or make her write in Spanish. That was like, okay, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, but she's completely bilingual.
Wow, that's wonderful. So she can read. She can read in Spanish as well.
She can read, but she doesn't have any comprehension.
Okay, she's not comprehending it. Well, that's great. So your advice is to trust your gut instinct, right? If you feel like there's something going on with your child, follow through with it. And I heard you say, kind of research, there's so many resources out there. So if you're not getting what you need from the school, now with the internet, there's so many resources. So inform yourself, right? Learn more about different learning disabilities or places that do privately evaluate students for learning disabilities.
What we tell to her is, because sometimes they say it's she doesn't have the capacity, or she's not available to read or something. So what we tell her is, you can read, just in different way,
right?
But you are able to do everything.
That's very good. Yep, she is capable of anything she sets her mind to. She may have to work a little bit harder than some of her peers, but that is great to tell her that, because she is very capable. And I love that you've exposed her to learning about different people in the world that have gone on to be very successful despite having dyslexia or dysgraphia.
Yeah.
Great.
I would say also that don't be afraid to reach out to other families, right? Sometimes when you first find this out, or you're struggling with that, you just don't know if this is something that is just happening to your family, but the truth is that there are so many kids like that.
Yes.
And thanks to our neighbor, that's how we found the private service that will give us the private exam, right? And to me, that was a groundbreaking, a stepping stone towards her process.
Okay, good. That's good advice too. But reach out and talk to other adults that you know, friends and family members and neighbors. And you happen to have a neighbor that had a great resource for you for a private evaluation. And it's an investment really in your child's future. And you guys did that. And so I applaud you for advocating for her and realizing that something was not right, something was going on, and taking the initiative to figure out what exactly is going on so that you can then have a plan moving forward to be able to help her and give her more opportunities for success. So you guys are doing a great job. I applaud you for that. And thank you so very much for your time and for sharing your story, being so open and honest and vulnerable with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. And we're going to sign off, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining us today. In our show notes, you can find information about today's talk, as well as links to resources and other episodes. If you have questions about today's talk, have ideas for future episodes, or just want to stay connected, you can contact us through Diagnostic Learning Services on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So, let's keep talking learning disabilities. This podcast is sponsored by eDiagnostic Learning. You can find more information at www.ediagnosticlearning.com.